Hello, it's John. Welcome. I am here in the Hurslaw estate, and there's another video of me exploring this beautiful place. Please do check that out. It's a video where I wander around Coldstream and this beautiful estate here. So I'm heading back now, and I'm heading this way. It's a long walk along this road. I am heading back into Coldstream as I'm getting my motorhome's in the garage, getting some recall downloads, software downloads, I love that. And maybe, they're not sure yet, but maybe a filter and oil change. So this video is about Jesus and my experiences with Jesus. It is a request from an anonymous subscriber, and I'd like to say a personal thank you for this request, because also thank you for, you know who you are, because you asked for this video. And you also wanted to remain anonymous, which I totally respect. But I get still to give you, because I know you're watching this, I get to give you a message, which is thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all your love and support. And it's such an honor to receive your kind words, your comments. You know, it might not be very obvious to you guys in, you know, when you have a YouTube video that you then go and comment on, and we're so used to this, right? Like the kind of some of the downsides, some of the faceless sides of YouTube is that you can feel a bit like, especially the bigger that people's channels get, and maybe you experience this with me when I'm responding sometimes to many, sometimes, you know, 1,700 comments in 28 days. It's a lot. I think 1.8 thousand to 1,800 is the highest so far I've responded to in a month, or 28 days, a lunar month. And so I just want to say a massive thank you for all your love and support. And I hope that when I create content and that I respond to your comments, I hope you feel when I read your comments as well, is that I feel truly touched and truly blessed to be doing this work for you and with you. Okay, let's talk about Jesus, right? And I'm laughing because when I was chatting with this wonderful anonymous subscriber, my first reaction was, OMG, look at this tree, by the way. We saw them on the way in. They said they could survive any storm. Look at that trunk. Well, that branch looks like it's about to fall. If you wonder why I'm a bit out of breath, it is quite a steep hill coming up here. So yeah, when I first heard that, I was like, oh wow, that's a OMG. That's a big subject to talk about Jesus. And perhaps I'll just start with some of my personal experiences with Jesus, and then just share, you know, some more aspects of my spiritual beliefs. And just in case you're wondering, I do not consider myself religious, and yet I have had experiences with Jesus, and also not just Jesus, other deities, gods, if you like. And those experiences, especially in one-to-one client sessions where my client is deeply religious, because you may notice, right, there's a lack of any exclusion on my services. Like like literally, frankly speaking, I don't care if you book a session with me. I don't care what religion you're from, right? It's not important to me. I would never exclude someone. Your beliefs are as a person, because I care about you when I do one-to-one sessions. That's so funny. I feel like I'm being followed. So yeah, let me talk about my experiences. So I've had past lives where I have been. Oh, here we go. This is the garage. You can listen to me talking to the garage for a moment. Hello.
Hi, Jon Binnie, it's Jill here from the garage.
Hi there.
Hi, that's your vehicle ready to go.
Wonderful, thank you. I'll just walk back from her slow. I don't know how long that takes, but
There's no hurry. Just
okay.
when you're back.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So there we go. It's all right. I knew that lorry was coming. There we go. Oh, they're so friendly, that garage. So yeah, in past lives, I have kind of fallen in and out of religion, especially Christianity. And in past lives, I remember this vividly from visiting places, is that, and these are, abbeys, churches, and more, is that when I visited, there was these experiences of, oh, the dog's out the window, it's so cute. These experiences of remembering what it was like to live there and worship there. So, some of the challenges I've had, and I'm not going to go into like this video is about Jesus, right? It's not about my past lives. So I can, if you want more detail on these past lives, let me know. I might even go and visit those places again, if I can remember where they are. I can't remember all my past lives yet, and I can't remember where they all are based yet. Maybe I should be making an encyclopedia of Jon's past lives. But I do remember I would channel God, right, and write in the religious context, scripture, and that connection to God, as I called it in that past life, it got me in a lot of trouble, right? Because and I was like a bit like now, quite, humble and yet outspoken. Humble. Humility is a journey, Jon. I guess as is being outspoken. So, yeah, I got in a lot of trouble for saying, this is the word of God. Look, I've written it down. Here it is. Let me share it with you. And it was very much a power struggle. It's like, oh, Jon thinks he can channel God. So that was a past life, at least one. There was more than just one. But I remember I visited these like abbeys and castles, and where I'd had those experiences. So more recently, and this goes back a couple of years, I was guided to invite into my meditation Jesus. And I was like a bit worried about that mainly because of Christianity, and Christianity doesn't own Jesus, if you like. Yet I felt, some of my own healing and I just stood, I stood in the puddle. And then I maybe not very cleverly just wiped my right shoe in a deep puddle, and now it's wet. Okay. Maybe I'm being told to just slow down. There's no rush. So in this meditation experience was so beautiful. I was meditating in my home, and what I experienced was setting the intention to invite in Jesus, and so I invited him in. And when he came to me, the experience I describe it as is he appeared, it was very visual to me. I could see him. He was, human form, but just bright light. And I remember almost if you were to draw, kind of soft outline of a human form, a male, about my height. I don't know what height Jesus was purported to be when he was alive here. And imagine like drawing around the edge with this kind of thick but soft outline. That's how I saw him. And I also saw like glimpses of his clothes. His clothes were kind of like a soft, light linen. And I remember he had his hand in his pocket, and he lifted his hand out of his pocket. I think it's his left hand out of his pocket as he showed himself to me. And he came to me, and I'm not sure if he really spoke. The exchange was incredibly profound, and I'm just feeling some of those tingles now. So when he came to me, I invited him, right? He said, this energy was, his energy, if you like, was speaking more than words. And he just showed me what I can only describe as power with such beauty and grace. And I described grace these are kind of somewhat limiting labels, but they're also powerful, which is this feeling of being in the presence of an ascended master, of a human being that had learnt how to begin to master their own superpowers. And the superpowers felt this grace and beauty of receiving. And that's really powerful for me, especially going back a couple of years. Now you might know me as Jon, who talks I talk a lot. Clearly I talk a lot. I'm on YouTube. I talk a lot about my hyper productivity and my journey with hyper productivity versus, has been parts of the journey of lack. And if you're wondering why I was going to make this video, I was a bit like, well, you know what? I've got a long walk back, and I really love creating videos. And what am I going to talk to or think of? And so I was chatting with this anonymous subscriber, and I was like, I'm looking for a topic. And I said, well, please talk about Jesus. So he was teaching me in that moment a grace, a beauty and power of receiving in masculine form that I've never witnessed before in a human, or a being that has recently been a human, within recent hundreds or thousands of years. And so that was it, really. I say that was it. It was quite life-changing for me, because until then I'd only really met ETs, archangels, beings that hadn't really incarnated on Earth, and yet hold such divinity. And I did a quick Google. I don't usually do this sort of thing, right? But I did a quick Google before I left the cafe there. And I asked the question did Jesus consider himself equal to other humans? And the kind of AI summary, I'm not saying this is like the most accurate according to the Bible or many Christians or other people that believe in Jesus. I'm not saying it accurately represents everyone's feelings, but what the Google Gemini AI summarized was that he considered his body equal and his divinity part of God. And, you know, I don't, those terms aren't totally unaligned or misaligned with how I feel about, you know, I feel equal with Source and I feel equal with the universe. And, you know, the wonderful, the beautiful anonymous subscriber that asked for this topic asked if they should revere Jesus as a deity. And if you ask me personally, I would say, and I'm not like super tight on, I don't really use the word revere, so I'm not like super tight on its definition. And all I would say is that in my experience, I felt that Jesus and his energy, my experience of him in that first meditation I met him, because I have met him a few times in this life, was that he is someone, he is a being, a soul, to be, you know, highly respected and commended for his incredible, it's a fly trying to go up my nose, for his incredible grace and power and divine feminine as a masculine, you know, incredibly inspiring. And so, you know, if you're watching this, right, and you might, and it does fascinate me, everyone's own unique experiences and religious, non-religious, spiritual beliefs. And look at this big, beautiful tree. It's funny because this is the tree that I spoke with on the way in, this huge one here. Is that the right one? Yes, it is. And it was saying that it helps, as people enter this space, helps people walk with their shadows. And it's been a shadow for me talking about Jesus, right? Because I've often been scared of the controversy of having any kind of, you know, one-on-one experience or opinions about, you know, beings that religions are deeply connected with. So, yeah, I just felt that I personally, we all get to choose, I think, to answer the question about whether you should revere him or not, we all get to choose, right? We all get to choose our own unique spiritual beliefs and experiences. And I would absolutely encourage you, you know, any being, and this is very much true for me in Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, the archangels I'm closest with, is that I go to, you know, significant lengths to build a relationship with them individually. They are individual, unique souls, not just any old archangel. And it is hugely powerful, same with Source, right? To just, or your God, or gods, whatever you believe in, I encourage you to build a relationship. You know, if you're into meditation, into prayer, then open up your heart and create a safe space and invite them in, you know. And I felt really honored to have Jesus come into a session, and yet I've also had experiences with many other religious deities and figures, including Ganesh comes to mind, Kali. I've had quite a few personal experiences with Kali, Kalimar, and there's just, I feel, you know, a big part of my spiritual journey is not about choosing. It's never been about choosing a religion or choosing one belief system. I really resonate with aspects of my spirituality which just encourage me to explore many, and I really love it in one-to-one sessions when, you know, people have had an experience with a being that is really kind of like a superstar, a rock star within their spiritual beliefs in their religion, or in or outside of a religion. And it is hugely powerful to invite them into the session, because when you invite in one of your, one of them, for example, I don't know if you've heard of them, I'm not sure how globally renowned he is, but Alan Watt, I think that's his name. He was, a lot of his footage, I think he was around in the 60s and 70s, and a lot of his videos and a lot of its audio are in different videos, and he wasn't aligned, I believe, with any one religion, but speaks very much about spirituality, meditation, consciousness. And he was in a client session once, and I remember both, because I'm a definite fan, and both the client and I were like fanboys, total fans of him. And you can, with the quantum psychic healing sessions or quantum psychic prediction session I offer, we can invite in any being and interact with them, right? And I can channel them. It's obviously they get to decide. I don't just invite them in against their will. But yeah, it's just a really beautiful, magical experience. So this might be a controversial video for some. I guess just talking about religion full stop is controversial, and just encouraging everyone to, to explore their own experiences. If you're wondering about my other experiences with Jesus, they have been within other client sessions too, and past lives. Say other past lives. Beautiful river here. We saw the other side on the walk down. Ah, that energy is lovely. I love rivers. So yeah, I just encourage you to, if you're triggered by this video, there's no need to watch it. You don't need to try and convince me about my own beliefs or experiences. This is just me sharing my truths, and I hope that you feel this video, that you find it and receive it in a way that you feel safe, exploring and expressing your own beliefs. And I'm not doing this, creating this content for controversy or for views. I'm creating it because I want you to feel safe to explore. Maybe that's also why I'm sharing this publicly as I walk around the street in Coldstream, in the very southeast of tip of Scotland. It's just a really beautiful honour to do so, and to not feel scared about it. So my next steps are to, I wonder if I've ever parked in there before. Maybe. It's a cool car park. I don't actually know how to get into it. It must be from the side there. I love all the old architecture. See, I'm now walking back to pick up my moto. It's quite funny because I forget that it has a tracker, so like a GPS tracker on it, and I can tell that they picked it up because I had it parked on the street. They picked it up about 9:30, so about 30 minutes after I left it, and then they worked on it for about 2 hours, and then have finished with it, and I think they phoned me maybe like 20 minutes after that. So it just tells you when it starts and stops. And there's a big church. I think that's the community centre. What a lovely day I've had here. A lovely morning. It's so beautiful. Maybe I'll do more of these. If you like the Monday mornings, maybe I should do more Monday morning adventures. Let me know. In proud and grateful memory of the men of the borough and parish of Coldstream who gave their lives in the Great War for the liberty, king and country, 1914 to 1919. Their name liveth forevermore. Wow, really powerful energy here. In the community centre. So this is where Amanda does yoga, chair movement exercise classes. The stone was laid by Mrs. Black Lantern, 1906. Wow. Yeah, it does look quite new. Yeah, I'd love to do more. It's only an hour away to drive down here. Got it down here for 9 a.m. And I didn't bring Patch. I wonder what's happening with Patch. He would not have enjoyed a Monday walking around in the rain. So that's he'll be relieved at that. You can see the hotel on the side. So my wife's looking after him today, which he's absolutely fine with. And I will be heading back for the hour drive home. And I did manage, if you watched the last video, if you watch these in sequence, I did manage to charge my camera to 100%. So now you get like this massive long video of me walking back as well. Otherwise I think it hit about 35%. So it wouldn't have got that much. It's funny seeing people's expressions as I pass them, as I'm vlogging. If you live in Coldstream, it's lovely to celebrate your beautiful wee town. And I do wonder if village, I do wonder if my motorhome is here on the street or not. Because I did, if you watch the other video, I managed to get into the parking space, and wow, it was an adventure driving back out. But it's all good. It's all a fun experience. If they haven't put it out on the street, I'll be impressed. There'll be a wee parking space somewhere. Oh, there's a wee coffee place here as well. This is the old post office. I love that sign. It's just a coffee sign. Genius. What was I? Oh, that's what I was saying when I passed the other places. Like, and I'll look for a coffee, or rather than calling it a cafe, just a place that serves coffee. It's so funny. Like you call a pub a beer or a wine. A post office you call a letter, I guess. And the library. And the besom. Smells good. And I can't see my motorhome out on the road, so it must be in the garage. And just down here is Henderson Park, so that's where I did a little tour in the previous video. So if you're interested in that, it's just beautiful, really lovely. And we're almost at the garage, and I just feel compelled to like walk you right up to the garage, because it's also where the previous video started. Ooh, fancy cars. And somewhere in here will be my motorhome. And there it is. Wow, they parked it across the multiple bays. How cool. Right, I'll go and pick it up. Take care, sending love.